In this video on Dorigo 3.0, we are dealing with guitar tablature, and I'd like to cover pre-bend notation, bending, and I'd also like to cover dead or muted notes and artificial and natural harmonics. I have a melodic line here, and I've done all of my bend notating. I've got the same line here, and I'm going to recreate these bends to show you the process. So I'm starting out with a pre-bend. I'm on the note D. I want to bend it up a half step or 1 fret to the note E flat. I'm going to strike the note and then relax the string so it'll bend down in pitch to the note D. I'm going to go down here. I'm going to double click to get my caret. I'm going to hit the forward slash sign to get a grace note entry. And I'm going to hit the note E flat on my MIDI controller. I'm going to hit the escape key, get out of that. Now with this selected, I'm going to navigate down to my properties panel here, and I'm going all the way over to the right here. We see guitar prebends, guitar prebend interval, and it defaults to a major second. But that's not what I want. I want a D to an E flat. Here it's giving me a D flat to E flat. Adjusting the interval will not change the target note, but rather the note you are bending. So let me navigate down here and change major to minor. You can see this is a D up to an E flat. If you wish to change the direction of the bend, you can do this right here, guitar pre-bend direction. By clicking on this, it's now up. Turn it off, defaults to the down position. And now with the E flat selected, I'd like to relax the bend back down to the D. So I'm going to navigate over to trills here, glissandi here. You see guitar bend, I'm going to select this, click over here, and there you have it. Let me hit escape and get out of this. If for some reason you want to change this, you can navigate down to direction here and turn that on, up or down. Or with regular bends, you can hit the letter F for flip and you can change this. We'll fix one of these later in engrave mode. Let's navigate to our next bend, which is a G, bending up a whole step to an A, and then I'm going to relax that bend back to the G. I'm going to select my first note, and now I'm going to use the popover. Shift letter O. Typing in the word bend. Not too tough. A, not so bad. I'm going to select the A because I need to indicate a bend going back down to the G. And now I'm going to use a key command. I'm going to go command, comma to get into my preferences. Key commands are already selected. I'm going to type in the word bend. And I'm going to open up the note input category, select create guitar bend. And I've already entered a key command here, Option or Alt, Command B. I'm going to close this. And with this selected, I'm going to use that key command. And there it goes. And this key command is going to be very handy if you find yourself notating a lot of bends. Now I've got a D bent up to an E, and a G is going to be played, so I have a double stop. It's important to select the right note that you want the bend to go to. If I select a G, the bend will actually go up to the G, which I don't want. I want to make sure I select E, and sometimes it's going to be a little difficult. I'm going to click here to select the E. I'm going to command click on the D. That seems to work pretty well. And if it's not the perfect look for you by default, the way you need to change this is go into engrave mode. So I'm going to do Command 3 to get into engrave mode. And let me zoom in just a little bit here, and you can see my handles available. So you could adjust this to your heart's content. Gives you a chance to clean things up a little bit. Going back to write mode. And the last thing I want to do is indicate that this E holds out in tablature. We can see it in notation, but we can't in tablature. So with this arrow selected, I just go down to properties, guitar bends, turn on show hold, and I'm done. And there I've recreated my part up here with all the bends that I want. As you might assume, there are a plethora of options for the look here within engraving options. So I'm going to open up the engraving options window, which is Shift Command letter E. I'm going to navigate to the new page, Guitar Bends, and you are going to see a huge amount of information here. So I'm just going to go kind of through them in general, get a look at some of these items here for tablature, whole step versus half step, your looks here, how you want your fret number appearing for the release, position of the bends relative to different notes, tablature, the height of your arrow, all sorts of information here that you can deal with. There's spacing information as well. Far too much to show in this tutorial. Let me go ahead and hit close here. And I'm going to show you a problem with having stems up and bends before I jump into dead notes and harmonics. And I'm going back to setup here, and I'm going to add guitar 3 to the party here. So let me select my custom score layout and enable guitar 3 to be part of that. And you can see in Guitar 3 with the stems up, there's all sorts of collisions with the bend information. So engrave options are your friends here, Shift-Command-E. And I'm going to navigate down to tablature. And the very first item I have is stems up or stems down. I'm just going to do stems down, close this out, and look how much better that looks. So if you're working with tab that shows rhythms and bends, probably best served to have the stems going down. Okay, let's jump back into write mode. And I'd like to talk about dead notes first and then harmonics. Let me select a note here. With it selected, I can navigate down to the Properties panel, Notes and Rests, and just turn on Dead Note. Now, this will work for dead or muted notes. Either one's acceptable. You can see the expression here of a note head or a letter X. Harmonics are very easy as well. Let's select a note, navigate all the way down to the right end here. We have harmonics in our Properties panel. I'm going to turn on Type. It allows me to choose natural or artificial. Artificial is the default. With that selected, you can further modify the style. You can change the partial. And if you'd like to modify the look of an accidental. Go to natural. The head looks a little different. Let's go back to artificial. We have this look here. And we can change our styles. You can think playing technique here. I select this one and I'll make it a natural since it's the same pitch. So you can see the difference between a natural and an artificial harmonic. And notice how the information is notated in tablature for the artificial harmonic. And that's all I'd like to cover in this video, and catch you on the next video where I'll be going over guitar fingering.